Hey guys, so today I want to make a video and I'm going to apologize in advance for if you can hear any background noises. I'm above the TV room in my house, so my parents are watching a really loud show downstairs and they're being laughing and stuff, which is fine, but kind of annoying if you're filming a video and stuff. So I wanted to apologize for that first. And this is going to be a book review, and this is on Emily Giffin's The One and Only. It's her most recent book. Um, I'm going to preface this by saying that normally I don't read Emily Giffin books because I probably have read more than half of her books, but lately that's not the type of book that I usually go for. I go for more fantasy novels or true crime, not true crime, but crime thriller novels. Those are more of what I'm interested in versus romancy type novels. I was gonna get another book before this. This was the last book I picked up my trip to Chapters, and um, I had another book in my hand that was more of a young adult romancy type novel, which I'm more interested in, to be honest. But I was like, this one looked good because it had a tragedy happen in it that makes people fall in love or something. It has to do with football, which I'm not a big fan of football, but I can understand what's going on because I watched Friday Night Lights. Is that weird? I don't know. So I was like, you know what, her track record isn't the greatest, but I feel like she has more hits than misses, so I decided to pick it up. Um, it took me about a week to read it. To be honest, I didn't read it consistently. I read it usually on my lunch break at work and stuff. Um, about 1/3 of the novel in, I knew where it was heading, and I was not on board with where it was going. Um, yeah. So I'll start by saying that I thought it was going to be this tragedy was going to happen towards the middle of the novel, and that it was going to be something with the football players doing something that was an accusation against one of them and stuff, which, to be honest, I'm all about those type of books. I like to read about those types of novels where there's alleged abuse and stuff, and then the party that gets the accused, gets what's coming to them. That's my favorite type of YA novel per se. I love high school bullies that actually get what's coming to them. So that's what I was thinking. This was kind of like. It was completely different. Yeah, so go into the tragedy. I'll try not to give away any spoilers, but it's gonna be really hard because I really don't like the book. Yeah, overall I gave the book a 2 to 5 on Goodreads. I would have given it a 1 had it not been for the secondary characters are amazing. But let's just go into what it's about. So, The One and Only, a tragedy rocks the hometown of Walker. But the tragedy happens in the very first chapter. And it's about the legendary coach. His name is Coach Carr. Yeah. And his wife dies. It was coming. I think she had cancer or something. So it was a well-known fact that she was going to die eventually. And he's only 55, so the wife was probably the same age. And he's a famous, legendary coach for the Walker University, college football. So he's this well-known, well-loved football coach that everyone loves in the town of Walker, and pretty much most of Texas, because that's where it is made. Walker, Texas, I don't think is actually a town, but that's where the book is set. And he has a daughter, Lucy, who kind of reminds you in a sense from, I don't know, Darcy, I guess, from Something Borrowed and Something Blue. And normally I didn't really like Darcy, but Lucy, I don't know, carries herself well, and she's not a total bitch, so it's kind of nice and refreshing to see. And then Lucy's best friend is Shay. That's how I pronounce it. It's Shea. So I just pronounce it Shay. A Rigsby, who is just as much a football lover as Coach Carr is, and she didn't really grow up with a father figure. Her dad left her for his first. Her dad had a fling with her mother, and then left her mother for his own actual wife, kind of thing. Again, so he's not really in the picture. And so there are these two families that kind of grow up next to each other. And so in the first chapter, you find out that Shay is Lucy's best friend and Coach Carr's been her father figure, and it's really sad that Miss Carr has died and stuff. But what really is the novel about is that I guess it kind of takes a leap in towards Shay kind of finding out that life is so short. What should she do? She went to school for journalism, but she's still doing writing for I guess she's not really writing. She's doing sports editing, I guess, collecting facts and stuff for the Walker team. And Lucy has a child and stuff, and she's not connected with her father at all. They don't get along really well, and he's kind of forgetful in terms of family stuff. And um, like Shay and Coach Carr are like really connected towards football. That's their biggest passion in life, so they definitely get along, and they always have gotten along. And through that, there's connections made. You know, Shay dates this like Dallas Cowboy, and his name is Ryan James. Everyone loves him, but she starts doubting her own self in terms of what she wants from life, who she wants to fall in love with, and all that jazz. If you can kind of catch my drift on where it's going, then I applaud you, because um, I found you find out within the first third of the book like where you think it's gonna go, and if you're into that, great. If you're not, then you're on board with me. I don't want to give it away, but it's like the biggest thing. So it's just where the book was heading. It's just not it. Oh, I don't want to say it, but like it's just like weird to me, because the characters are just not anything. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to give it away, but like if you can really get what I'm laying down, then good for you. Overall, I gave it a 2 to 5 because like the story moved quickly enough, but there wasn't much resolved in the term of the ending. And as I was reading more reviews on Goodreads as well, it kind of did like help my perspective of why I didn't like it too much. The main reason obviously being what happens. The second reason being they had like an NCAA investigation into the college, and how like, you know, people were courting players who hadn't played for the team yet, and just like giving them cars and stuff, which is illegal, you know, to like kind of recruit people. And you find out nothing ever happens from that. It's mentioned throughout half of the book that there's an NCAA investigation into Walker University football, and nothing is resolved. What happens with that? That was interesting to me. I want to know what happens with that. Everyone else in the book was interested in what was happening with the investigation, and nothing is resolved from that. So that kind of sucks. But the reason I didn't give it a 1 out of 5, because if it was just the two main characters that are really in it the most, I would have given it a 1 out of 5. But the secondary characters are really good. Lucy and her husband, but mostly Lucy, is a really good character, I think. She definitely helped move the story along, and she's an antagonist in a way, but she's not, I think, you know, I did enjoy Something Borrowed over Something Blue, because I connected with, God, I don't know her name, the main character in Something Borrowed, versus Darcy, and Darcy is like the ultimate mean girl, I find, even though, you know, we know her best friend did steal her fiance, but what have you. In terms of character, Lucy's like a toned down version of Darcy, and I really enjoyed her perspective on, you know, like issues that there was in the book and stuff. And then included in that, the Ryan James character was really refreshing to see. Like he was this like all-American boy who was a football player, and then he is kind of mean and stuff. It's just refreshing to see these secondary characters really help the book along, and they were all great characters. They all had development in them, and Shay does not. So she kind of reverts back to her old ways, and you're just kind of like, this is not a person I want to read about. This is not a person that I want to like. Cause I like reading about strong female characters. Shay was not a strong female character to read about, and I kind of just didn't like that. So, I think out of all her novels that I've read, I don't think I've read all of them, but majority of the novels that I've read by her, this is my least favorite. And it's just like it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and yeah. So if you want to read the book, someone else has suggested some good reads, do not buy the book. Rent it from a library, rent it from a friend, because it literally is kind of a waste of money, because I did not like it. And I wish I got the other book that I was thinking about before I got this one. But, you know, it was a read. I read it in a week, and that was nice. So, overall, though, not my fave. Will I continue reading books from her? I think, you know, Emily Giffin is a good novelist. She does write books that are interesting typically, but this one just did not fall on the shelf of my favorites from her. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.